sacrifice social, so no boyfriend.
Ouch!
I'm hurt.
Sometimes it can be very miserable because you're alone and
Crying in the corner.
No, I talk to my chair.
I'm at the point where I'm questioning everything I have known about work.
But when I work for myself, I can actually prioritize my own well-being.
Is this a good idea to turning hobby into a full-time job?
Hello! Welcome to yet another season of TingTingandKaKa's podcast. And this season, we're gonna talk about...
We are going to talk about what is work from the lenses of Chinese millennials in Australia.
Whoa, how boring and depressing!
Well, we both took a career break to find the meaning of work. Many friends in our community are also wondering how to find the dream job, how to be financially independent, and how to navigate certain tricky work situations.
Alright, blah blah blah.
So this is a safe space for us to share our true stories and real feelings towards work.
Ooh, dark secrets? I'm in.
No, it's a safe space. No dark secrets.
Dark secrets. 霸道总裁爱上我。
Congratulations on the milestone. You have been officially working for yourself for 5 months. How do you feel?
Oh my god, I can't believe it. It's been 5 months and it's almost the end of 2021. It's like, kill me now. But no, I had a great time. But to be honest, at the beginning, it was more like working on myself rather than working for myself. But now I am ready to work for myself. And that's why I'm so looking forward to this episode to talk to other bad bitch, business owners to talk about how they made it and what's the differences between working for others and working for themselves. Bring them on!
Yeah, I'm actually bringing one of your favorite guests from the season 1. So I'm bringing Issa back. Do you remember Issa?
Of course, can men and women be just friends, Issa? Yes, I remember her very well.
Yeah, so Issa is also a business owner. She actually started her own professional language service about 8 years ago. And she was also my teacher for interpretation and translations. So thanks to her, I can pass my NATI exam so that I can stay in Australia afterwards. And then Issa also run a book club on the side as well, which I'm also part of member of. So it's very honored to actually have her on this show. So you also bring some friends.
Yes, I brought Sarah because we used to dance K-pop at uni. No, not because we used to dance K-pop at uni, but because she is the founder of Cottonly, your next essential beauty wipe made of 100% cotton. Upgrade your skin routine this Christmas with Cottonly. Non-sponsored content, but welcome sponsorship. Thank you. Ching ching.
Sarah, hopefully you are listening. We're definitely ready for you to sponsor our show. I really like your product, by the way. Big fans. So let's get started. Just before that, I would like to quickly apologize in advance for some of the sound quality issues you may actually experiencing when you listen to this episode because we are trying some new equipment set up. However, it doesn't impact the quality of our conversations because the conversation has been making some really great impact about the way of how I think and also my life as well. So it has been really powerful. Hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, everyone would definitely enjoy it. And it is rapid fire time. Let's go. Okay, welcome to another episode of TingTingandKaKa's. Here are the rapid fire questions. Agree or disagree, everyone? You get more freedom when you work for yourself.
Agree.
I don't know.
Agree. I love how quick this is. Okay, second question. Agree or disagree? You earn more when you work for yourself.
I agree.
I disagree.
It depends.
Yeah, for me it depends.
That's
But
the
if
case
we're
for me.
talking about short term, so maybe I'm sort of in the middle. If we're talking about short term, then that's disagree. Long term, agree.
Okay,
Yeah, okay.
cool. So
There we
it's
go.
like we depends, and let's talk about it more later.
Okay.
The third question: do you recommend your family or children in the future to start their own businesses? Do you recommend people starting their own businesses?
I wouldn't.
I would.
Yeah, I
I
would.
mean,
Depends on
it really
her.
depends. I actually have prepared for this answer. We'll talk about that later, right?
Yeah, I would, but it depends on her. If whatever she wants, it's okay.
Right. For me,
Rapid.
yeah, it depends. Okay, come
Rapid.
Next question, rapid fire. What was the one thing you wish you knew before starting your business? Issa.
Nothing. I'm cool.
Sarah.
I think I expected everything, sort of.
Okay, I wish I knew what I signed up for. That's what I wish I knew.
What you sign up, what specific it is you wish you knew?
Just generally, it's more difficult, but let's talk about it later.
I wish I knew it's something more emotional involved than that it is. It's not just a business.
No, I actually really love it because sometimes starting a business is not just a financial decision; it's an
Emotional decision. Yeah, that's
Oh
something I
my
like.
god, I love where this is going. The last question. What was the biggest sacrifice you have made for your business, Issa?
Yeah. Okay, I have my answer. One word: stability.
You sacrificed your stability. Okay.
I think I gave up a lot of social opportunities.
I haven't sacrificed anything. Probably emotion as well. Like I guess emotion stability.
What did I sacrifice? I sacrificed maybe stability, same, but I don't know yet. Yeah, too
I don't
early
know.
for me.
Yeah, same here. I don't know.
Yeah. So here are all the rapid fire questions. Now it's slow fire time.
Can we actually go through some of these rapid fire questions in details?
Yeah,
because
sure.
I actually
Wanted to explore.
I wanted to know what everyone actually think. For example, about the freedom, like some people say agree, I think both of you say agree, yeah? More freedom when you're working for yourself.
Yep.
So what's freedom mean to you?
Doing what you want when you want.
No, it's to not do what I don't want.
Oh my god, I love it! What's the difference?
It's like when you work for some other people, right? And there are certain components of your work you couldn't say no to. Like if you're employed for full time and you have to have a meeting with an unpleasant client, you just have to go. But when you own your own business, you can just like, okay, fuck off, I don't need your money, bye bye. Yeah,
But
so
don't you have to give a fuck about some money?
Yeah, some. I mean, generally, I hand select my clients. I only deal with the pleasant ones. If you're unpleasant, if you're rude, if you're a waste of my time.
So she
I
has a
just cut
choice
them
to
off.
say no and walk
So-
away.
So basically, I think freedom is not entirely about I get to do what I like. It's like I have the freedom to say no to what I don't like.
Privilege.
Do you agree with that, Sarah? What about you?
Yeah, I agree with that, and also I think when you work for yourself, you have the freedom to schedule your time out. So, say if you have a social gathering, and say that if you want to go overseas or have some plans, you can sort of plan around your business, and your business sometimes can plan around your social. So you would be very flexible.
Is freedom always a good thing though? The reason why I'm asking that is because I was listening to a podcast about a different type of people working in the as a freelancer, and apparently I heard there's a different type of freelancer. Some freelancer is like what Issa said. You have a very you require very limited, I guess, capital to support your business. Essentially, just one person. As a writer, as a blogger, you literally just one person, and you don't need to have a massive support. However, there's another kind of freelancer. You kind of like startup owner, you actually do need to please the investor, like trying to find VC. You actually, in order to be successful, you actually do need to have a strong capital support. In that sense, you actually won't get you not necessarily get the freedom as you think you will get, because you actually get much more stress about to say, okay, every day I actually have to pick off this meeting. I think that's one point I want to say is, will you actually get the freedom as you think you will?
You know, this one, like Sarah's business, my business has one essential difference. When I started my business, I got one suggestion. That suggestion is, if you can sell service, don't sell product. Because selling service is much easier. So I do appreciate that. I think your work is much harder than mine because you're actually selling product. Because selling product, you need to have the product. You have to develop it, you have to design it, you have to manufacture and sell it. For service, I'm just providing service. So it's much easier. So in some sense, I probably would enjoy a bit more freedom compared to Sarah. So it's a very different thing. And I think you did a good job inviting people from two different types of business, so you get a full spectrum.
Range.
I want to ask Issa, so do you think there's a difference between what you said and what I said? Basically, you said not doing, basically have the ability to choose what you don't like, and what I said mostly focused on choosing what I like. Is there a difference between this?
That is, I think there is. There is a subtle difference when you think about that. That's an excellent question. I think the freedom to say no to something you don't want, for me, that is much more valuable, much more powerful compared to able to do something you want.
That's actually the question I have originally. Is freedom always a good thing? Is it relate to that as well? Because sometimes personally, I actually feel like boundary is a good thing for me, because I always feel I never think boundary and freedom is the flip side. I always thinking boundary make me free. I always feel that. I always want, because when I come to any environment, even including work and everything, I like the idea to know where my boundary is. Once I know my boundary, I feel like I can free. I will be able to do anything that I want. So I guess one of the fear for a lot of people to start their own business, or certainly the people who suddenly get rich, like people who win the lottery, there's a lot of story about them, actually going back to their normal life after one, a lot of them didn't retender. It's because there's one moment they suddenly lose the boundary that where they used to have, and they have a new boundary. They actually feel less free now because they have too many choice, and then they don't know where to go. They can do anything, but they don't know where to go.
Now I sort of, I know where you're coming from now. I think when you work for yourself, you also have the ability to set your own boundaries. So it doesn't mean that you're running free, you're getting up 2 p.m. and going to sleep at 4 or something. You can still set your own boundary within that bigger freedom. That's how I feel. So you don't just run around, get to do whatever you want. You also have to set your own limitations, this way that you can keep track of yourself and progress.
I'm interested to know how you set a boundary, because I think last time when we have the conversation, you mentioned a lot about self-discipline and time management, something you really wanted to talk about.
So I think for anyone who was previously working and suddenly became free and started working for themselves will sort of get into this dilemma of, they don't know how to set out the boundary. Nobody really knows. It's sort of the time to explore your boundary. You don't get it right in the first go. You would have to explore. So first, I think you have to get yourself into a right schedule. So when to wake up, when to sleep, when to work, and you would try to break it. So for me, I actually, I tried Steve Jobs' schedule, and then I tried a lot of other people, because initially I don't know where, I couldn't find myself. I don't know where I sort of fit in throughout this 24 hours. So I was like, oh, okay, so they get up at 5 a.m. and sleep at 10. Definitely not going past 12. So I tried that, and yes, I got up at 5, but I was like a dead zombie. I was like a dead zombie.
Person, I guess.
I'm not a morning person, so I was like a dead zombie for probably until 9, and I was like, yes, I can work now. So there's really no point for me to get up at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. if I'm not really utilizing it.
To experiment a lot of different
you
things.
You have to experiment. You have to try a lot of schedules.
Question. So how long does it take for you guys to finding the perfect schedule and routine for you, and how did you find that?
Okay, well, first of all, I read the book Why We Sleep, which I recommend it in the book club, right? It's been super helpful. And afterwards, I started to experiment how long is the sleep that I need. So I noticed you can take about 2 to 3 weeks to experiment. So you find that probably 6 to 7 hours, definitely not enough. 8 hours, that's my sweet spot. If I try to sleep longer tonight, I woke up very soggy, and that's just no good. So you figure that out. And I also, and right now it's daylight saving time. So sometimes I change my sleep around certain schedule as well. Like if, like recently I've been talking to someone in a different time zone. So I need to sleep a little bit later and wake up a little bit later. But I tried that for 2 weeks, and that's making me miserable. So I'm going back to my old schedule. So is that
I'm smiling so much because I know you guys probably been business owners for like many years, and I'm literally experiencing what you said now. So like 3 months ago, probably about 100 days ago, I took my career break. So I got that sudden freedom, and I'm lucky that I have a pretty good schedule, and just even during the work time and COVID helped, that I started to figure out how my body works optimal for me. So but then in terms of how long it actually took me, every month I change, like because it just I was suffering so much in the beginning because I was like binge eating. I had certain expectations I couldn't meet, and hence I emotional ate. I was disappointed. I just slept in so much, like like it was because when you get that freedom, you have certain expectation of this should be good, and then when you experience that, oh, it's not good.
On this one, I was echoing what Charlotte was asking. So is freedom a good thing? Yeah. Is freedom a good thing?
You have to find it out.
My answer would be freedom is a delicate thing. It's not necessarily good, it's a delicate thing. And I would agree with Sarah that freedom needs to be structured.
Yeah, so basically, and you can see my laptop is basically, like, I change it every month.
I can see it now.
Don't judge my calendar. And I would say probably it took me like 100 days now to have a pretty comfortable schedule. Wow. But then and then every month I set a success measure, and I have a daily success measure that meets with my
So you have a KPI for your daily life, right?
because like, it helps me. It's not like I have to do it, it's just a reminder. Like a goal is not set for me to achieve it. For me, a goal is that just so I know where reality is. I have to go too far to know where my boundary is. That's my
It's sort of like a guide.
It's just a guide, so I won't be disappointed if I don't meet my goals. Like, oh, okay, so this is where I'm at. And basically my schedule, I realized I cannot work more than 4 hours. Like, depends on the day.
Wonderful.
Yeah, like because I wake up around 6 a.m. and then I spend 4 hours just taking care of myself. Because I work out, I sing, I meditate, and I walk up till 10 o'clock. And 10 o'clock is when I can finally work. And then and then after 1 hour, lunchtime. And then,
I know, love it. And give yourself 3 hours lunch break.
then I go out for another walk, and then I come back and work for maybe another 2 hours. Hey, dinner time! and then sometimes depends on my day. Like, it's not like I have a fixed schedule. Sometimes I feel inspired to do certain things, but then I have hour blocks in my day. So for example, 10 a.m. before 10 a.m. I don't check any of my messages. I don't check like any sort of social media. It's like the me time. I actually have a separate phone to my actual phone that only has like podcasts, audio, and that sort of thing. And then you've got hour blocks up to lunch to work. Then you've got the hour block after 2 p.m. up to 5 p.m. to work. So that can all depends throughout the day. And then on some days I might even work after dinner, but then I've got a schedule where 9 o'clock is my off screen. So that's when I again shift to another phone, and then I just go screen free.
And when you say you don't check your social media, is it work social media or is it your own private social media?
It's the same thing for her.
Both. I think the work social media is super hard. Especially at the beginning. It's very hard to, like, what I'm really struggling with at the moment is because I'm doing a creative work. It's not like you can turn on and off creativity. Creativity comes from everyday life. Like whatever I'm looking at, I'm always thinking about, how can I use this? Like, is this? So like when I was looking at Tabby, I'm like, inspiration, please. The cat. Yeah. So, but anyways, that's something like you guys are talking about it, but I am struggling. I'm still struggling with finding the balance in freedom, because
and setting limit for yourself within that, because
Can I add another question? Do you switch off job? Like, do you switch off the work brain? Like,
that's what I was going to talk about in one of your topics. So for me, I think Well, the biggest difference when you work with others is that you can switch it off. When you finish at 5:30, you switch it off, you go home and you start thinking about dinner and, you know, what TV you're going to watch afterwards, sort of like what book you're going to read afterwards, and catching up with families. And you can sort of forget everything that's been going on during the day, and you know that that's something to be sorted out, not tonight, maybe tomorrow when you start working, when you're, you know, in your like little desk. Yeah. But then when you work for yourself, you can't really switch off. It's really hard, because if you do have a question, if there is an issue, whether, you know, it's with your service that you want to think about it, like, or whether it's with your product, it just carries on.
And the
I
difficulty
think it
is
carries
you want
on.
to. The difficult part is, it's
is.
not like I don't like doing it. I
Yeah.
want to. Yeah.
You want to, because I think deep down you know that you're the only one who will be responsible for yourself. And even if you don't sort it today, I mean, if you leave it to tomorrow, it's still you who's responsible for it. Because nobody will really be, you know, behind your back and chasing up your work. So you want to get it done as soon as possible, and because you're fully responsible for it. Yeah, I think with work, you're 95% responsible for it. The other 5% is sort of left to, I don't know, your manager to chase it up. You're sort of like, oh, you know, it's their business. I want to do my best, but you don't really have to plan out everything. You don't have to think a step ahead.
I have a little bit, I agree with what you say there, but I also have a little bit different experience for me, simply because I'm a little bit complicated, because I kind of have a full-time job, but at the same time also have doing my own thing on the side. So I kind of three side hustle on the side. TingTingandKaKa is one major one, and the Minko is another one, which have all the problems what you described there. Is like to say, sometimes I will be like staying the whole night trying to talking to the Facebook admin, trying to fix some of the things that with our shop.
Yeah.
And then. But I found that that's why work for me never switch off. However, even work for me, even for the full-time job, it never switch off, because the next day when I'm coming in, I have people kind of in the company I'm responsible, or clients I'm responsible. Sometimes if they struggle, they have an issue, I also couldn't sleep. So I have been have sleeping issue for a very, very long time. But one thing, the difference I guess I have is I actually learned how to force myself, even for my own business. I force myself to switch off.
Yeah.
So that's the meditation. That's the reason. Do you remember I was asking you for the advice for the meditation app?
Yeah.
Because my situation went really bad. I couldn't sleep and I have nightmare. And sometimes I would be literally screaming and wake up. And so I realized it's really not healthy if I couldn't switch off, and it's already go to the places. It's harming my well-being and my partner's well-being as well, because he couldn't sleep if I couldn't sleep.
Yeah. So just a question: are you saying that even when you're working for others, in the middle of the night, sort of you just wake up, say, I don't know, during your sleep, and start thinking about, oh, my client, you know?
Work never switch off for me. Even for work,
Really?
it doesn't different between working for others or working for myself. For me, so I feel so. I guess the key points I wanted to say here is I feel like that's the discipline part of discipline part as well. It's something to practice. I need to force myself to say, work. All of these are work. Like working for others is work, and also for me, I don't really believe in the concept of working for others. I always believe in whatever, even you have a boss, you are working for yourself always. This name is not really a real question about working for. So it's always working for yourself. If that's the sense, then it's very hard to switch off, because if you love what you do, if you care about the outcome, it's for yourself. So then how do we do that? It's actually the meditation. You have to train your mind to say, segment it, to say this is what you want.
Do you guys recommend it? Like, because I'm at a point where I'm kind of like giving up, or not giving up, like I'm at a point where I'm questioning everything I have known about work, because before I have a very clear line between work and life, and I did enjoy while I had it, and I'm at a point where I start to question, maybe work is life, life is work, maybe this is something I need to accept, maybe I don't need to force myself to cut this off and draw a boundary. Like, what do you guys think about this?
It's really, I mean, I have the same problem as you do. Like, even when I'm consciously trying to switch it off, my subconscious is thinking about work all the time. My work haunts me in my dreams. Really, I dream about it.
And
I dream
that's when
about
you're working for someone else as well.
it doesn't matter. I work for somebody else, work for myself. It's like
Yeah.
I dream about stressful situation. It actually has takes a toll on me psychologically. So I've been doing the same thing. I meditate almost daily, and now I also talk to my psychologist. It's like I feel like I'm always working. I'm working a full-time job. I'm working on my private practice, and then there's a project. There's another project, and some projects I just like it because it's just so exciting. I want to take it on. I want to spend more time on it. And as Sarah mentioned, because it's your own job, you feel this ownership. You are the marketer, the campaigner, the blog writer, and the tech support. You're everything. And so yeah, I have trouble switching it off.
Man, this group is screwed.
We're so screwed. Yeah, but lately I've been doing something like as Tingting mentioned. You just block out 1 hour. You're not allowed to do anything else. This 1 hour you read. You don't do anything else. That's been helpful for me.
Yeah. But I think for Tingting it's different because you're broadcasting your life and your content is revolving around your lifestyle. So really for you, to me, I think lifestyle is work and work is lifestyle. You have to sort of broadcast yourself or film yourself and really show your lifestyle. So you can't, it's hard to find that boundary.
Yeah, sorry. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Like, you said that you question everything you know about work. Like when, as Sarah mentioned, that you basically are broadcasting, your work evolves around your life. How does that feel? Do you feel like you never get to rest, or do you feel like you just sit comfortably into it? Like,
It's gotten a bit better now. I'm trying different styles. There are different types of creators out there. Very often people begin with vlogs because you look at vlogs. I did look at vlogs. I was like, that girl is boring. I'm way more interesting, right? And then you guys all agree with that, cool? And then hence I did a vlog, and then I give up straight away. Like I did one vlog on YouTube, and then I was like, nope, not for me, because it's so damn hard. Like people look at vlogs, be like, oh, this is easy. No, it's hard. It's so hard. So look at what Michael does. So Michael, my husband, he also has a YouTuber. He filmed maybe like 30 minutes, but he spends most of his time doing research and then edits. Whereas vlogs, you spend a lot of time filming and editing. It's a huge amount of cost, like to you. And also it's like, again, I struggle. Where do I draw the line? Where do I want to associate my life with work? With like, do I want to make myself the product? That's like, I'm still deciding what type of creator I want. So you can be an education creator, you can be a personality creator. How sticky do you want the thing to be?
now how do you switch off?
How do I switch off?
Do you even switch off?
I do. Like now, like, because I'm not actually sort of broadcasting there are very specific things I broadcast. So for my Instagram, I only film that 1 hour I work out. And I'm just so used to, I was doing it when I was working. So that for me isn't even work because I'm just so used to the camera sort of looking at me. So you do have to have the face where you're just used to a camera.
So basically you pick specific moments of your day to be filmed.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's just so many things actually. The audience looks at my social media, thinks, oh, I know this person. I post like 4 times or 5 something times a day. But then that's actually a small amount of my time block because I work out more than just that 1 hour. I do. And yeah, so the off-screen time has worked really well for me. So before 10 p.m. and after 9 p.m. But then I don't switch off. Like I will be thinking about, but then nowadays I don't think about, okay, do I want the camera to be with me, because I strictly don't allow myself to take that time away from me. But in my brain, I think about, how do I edit this? How can I make this better? Or I was inspired by this person. But then I try to meditate. I guess it comes back to meditation. I imagine there's a little person sitting in me and then watching the clouds go by and be like, nah. Exactly. I assume there's a person actually observing my idea. And one thing that really helped me is, because one thing that really haunts me that I can't switch off is because I sort of think, oh my God, I have to act now, or I have to write down this idea now, otherwise I will lose it. And then I just believe, I try to tell myself, no, you won't lose it, go to sleep. Tomorrow, if it's a good idea, it will come back, because I have gone through the phases where I'm writing down ideas non-stop. I've got like so many ideas, and then I don't act on them, because when a week after, I'm like, this is a stupid idea. That does not deserve my sleep. So now I start to be like, yeah, when I have an idea, whatever, a good idea will stick, a bad idea, bet.
Recommended to read a book, the How to Write Smart Notes. They were actually talking about how to. That's literally talking about that. What kind of idea is worthwhile to write down? What kind of idea is not? Is actually not worthwhile. It's actually okay to let it go.
I need to see that book today.
Yeah, but I actually am curious about what you say there, Tingting. And this question I think everyone can ask is because the reason why I ask Tingting is because Tingting recently made these transitions. Yeah. So what is the biggest change, a personal change you feel like since you moved from full-time work to now like freelancer type of creator work? So this change can be your personality, value-wise, or your view around the world.
To try everything every morning.
What is
What's
that?
Try everything.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, open to all possibilities, to whatever.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. That is a real thing. That is a real thing, though. Like, if I think about who do I thank the most, I thank myself. I think I've never felt such a strong sense of love for myself. Like, it's pretty personal for me. Everybody has a different story when it comes to when they decide to transition between like how they want to work. But for me, it's really very much about prioritizing my needs above everybody else's. And that was just like transformational for me, because I have lived a life where I've done definitely the opposite for majority of my life. Yeah.
And it's a liberating feeling, right?
It's liberating.
There
Yeah,
you go.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So to answer like Kaka's question, you love yourself more after transitioning.
I finally see myself. Like, again, I listen to Frozen 2's, there's a song.
Is that the one to listen to Frozen 2? What are you talking about? No Frozen.
Yeah. I'm free.
All right. Okay. So Issa, what about you? What was
I'm withholding my judgment.
what was your biggest change for you? Changing between well, actually, you have a two situation. You have a change from working for yourself to working for other, and not working for other now working for you.
Well, I do feel like when I work for others, I have to build my life around work, because work is set there 9 to 5. It's set there. I have to build my everything around that. But when I work for myself, I can actually prioritize my own well-being. Yeah. So I get to take very long annual leaves. Like 1 year, I took 3 months off, 3 months paid annual leave. Yeah, I get to do that because that's the type of freedom that you have. Yeah. So yeah, when people ask me, say, hey, how does your boss let you do that? So my boss loves it.
Since we're talking something so positive, I really want to ask about the sacrifices. Sacrifice, social. So no boyfriend.
No.
Ouch!
I'm hurt.
You know that you invited 2 single people to your show, right?
Single, right?
Oh my
Okay,
god.
so no boyfriend it's by choice. It's not a sacrifice, okay? It's not a sacrifice. That's okay. Take no offense. But anyway, you can't take offense with Tingting. Otherwise, you'd be taking offense all day.
Touche!
Taking offense of that.
This is going to be highlight of this podcast.
I'm taking offense. Okay.
Yeah. So I think like socially, when I mentioned in the beginning with like social sacrifice, basically I mean I don't feel like I'm meeting enough people every day to have that sort of interaction. I think when you work for a corporate, you get to have colleagues, whether you like them or not, but you know they're around you, and it's healthy for your well-being. And also you probably have like certain network events that you can go to. But I think when you're working for yourself, it's very, sometimes it can be very miserable because you're alone and
Crying in the corner.
No, I talk to my chair.
yeah, it's very like, you know, independent, and you can't depend on anyone, so you would have to sort of walk this path alone, unless, you know, you have the power to, you know, hire other people, but still, you're still alone, even if you hire people.
So that's the social that I felt I've given up, is that you would have to 80% to 90% of the time you have to walk this journey sort of alone. Yeah.
But if I ask you to come out drink with me every Friday, would that fix it?
Not with you.
Yeah. No, I
Looking boys.
I think, yeah, you know, having friends on the side and having them supporting would help a lot. But yeah, that means you would have to, you know, go out of your way to meet your friends. You know, you have to call them, schedule it, and make it happen. So it doesn't come natural. It won't be natural for you to meet people. You have to go out of your way to.
And also it's the timing as well, because when you say you make that social sacrifice, it's because you prioritize, for limited time, you want to prioritize your work over the social.
As well sometimes. Yeah.
That's literally my problem. So this is actually the question I was going to ask this group as the peer mentor. What I wrote down is, how do you deal with loneliness? Like, I'm not talking about a general loneliness. I'm talking about loneliness as a business person, as someone who owns something. Like you said, even if you hire people, they're not gonna care, or maybe they care, but they're not gonna be at the same it's not like a partner. I think it's really helpful that me and Charlotte are doing this together, because she knows everything I know. She can resonate with everything we're struggling in this together. But then
You're in the same boat.
Yeah, but then if you're the only person, even I listen to podcasts with other creators talking, sometimes I resonate from, like, I get comforted in that way. But then I'm starting to look in real life, be like, where are my peers?
Yeah, I think it would really help to have more people who's doing similar things, and you can share ideas and talk about it. But otherwise, yeah, it's like a lonely job.
Hey, new business idea. We should start a social club for small business owners.
Yeah, I would really love it. I would definitely join.
There you go.
Yeah.
This podcast is meant to be a little bit more designed for that, not necessarily for
But it's so inspirational, so you get like ideas.
Have you tried any ways, or have you found anything useful?
Well, yeah, that was going to be, you know, how you said that we can sort of prepare one of our issues that we're experiencing right now. So that's probably one of my main issues that I do want to talk about, is how can I get enough social interaction, you know, enough as in, you know, like good for my well-being, sort of make me sort of feel at ease all the time. That's one of my struggles at the moment, is that I would really have to make my way out and plan things with certain friends. And sometimes if they don't have the time, then you would probably have to reschedule. You can't have like 100 friends, you know, all like available for you every single week whenever you wanted them to be.
And your time schedule probably a little bit different for some of your friends.
That rings a bell. It's like, I'm free Tuesday morning. Anyone? No one.
If no one's responding, yeah. So that's one of my struggles at the moment. And sometimes I think with like human interaction, you don't necessarily have to spend it with people that you really like. You just need someone there sort of to probably talk to you, to have to diversify your like social environment. But then if there's no one there playing that part, then you can't always like bother your friends and make plans. That's something that
That's something maybe later I can helping out a little bit, simply because I'm just someone who obsessed about building community and then always
I feel the same.
around. However, I wanted to hear from Issa, and also I feel like you must have a lot of insight, because you run a lot of experiment to helping you to fix that problem.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's something I've been struggling for so many years. Many years ago when I started seeing my psychologist, I basically told my psychologist, can I like remove this human need of needing interaction? Can we do that? Yeah. Basically, my psychologist said, no, you're crazy.
Your psychologist is drinking, your psychologist is drinking.
Yeah. Oh our psychologist just started a club drinking. He's like fixing those damaged Asian women. Right. Anyway. So it took me quite a while because I've been in denial. It's like I don't want human feelings. I don't want human interaction. Can I not have that?
Yeah.
In the end, as a human, you can't really opt out, right? Opt out.
Yeah.
So having those feelings, that means that you're gonna have those needs. Then you have to find a way to satisfy those needs. So then I thought about one thing I do is I have different circles because you can't have just like you can't have one partner that satisfies your every need. Tingting.
Look very thoughtful and starting to nod his
I'm
head.
not offended until you call my name.
Thinking about lesbian options. Diversify.
We can talk about that later. Okay.
That's a whole new episode.
Oh my god!
That's a different episode. But yeah, offline. But when we come back here, it's like I think we need to have different friends for different need. Like I have friends to talk about books. That's one important aspect in my life. And then I have creative people talk about my startup, talk about my business ideas. If I have an issue, I can go to those people. You probably have business friends, business owners where you can bounce ideas off, right? And then you have other things for more personal, emotional needs. That means that you have a circle of close friends who you can share your silly issues with, and you can trash each other's partners. No, I'm joking. But providing actual emotional support. And then you have your most inner circle, your family. Yeah. So that's how you satisfy your emotional and intellectual needs, circle by circle. Because
But how did you find this circle? How do you define it?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah. It took me so many years. And I understand that if you want, let's use friendship for example. If you want a 5 years old solid friendship, then you need to put in 5 years of effort building that solid friendship. So it's actually thinking about, okay, who do you want to be friends with? What quality you really like about them? And then invest in this friendship. Take time, listen to their issues, and bring your issues to them, and see where the friendship grow, and really actually take time into caring about them.
But
I can't believe I said that.
would you like would you categorize them? How would you how you have each category for your friends? Does that just come really naturally, or do you have to think
It didn't come
about
naturally
it?
because you need it's like a job interview. Give them many rounds.
What's on my interview? No.
Yeah, in the circle. There we go. Yeah. So basically, I think it just took a very long time because my job in language, our job is unbelievably lonely. Our job is unbelievably lonely. And then I joined the let's say professional association, and I actually served on the national committee. So I met people from the same industry. So I guess maybe when you're a small business owner, you can go out and meet other lonely small business owners.
Very interesting because one thing you're surprising, like one thing I really admire from you, and also Summer as well. She's not here, but she's also doing the same. Is she's also talking about loneliness and the connection. We'll talk about this topic a lot of time. Is both of you are very proactively trying to thinking about creative way to bridging that gap, because I know the whole effort for putting together a book club, the coordination, the effort for coordinating, every single time I was thinking about, I said, I like to bring these people together, but then these people sometimes it's just so hard to coordinate the whole group, because all the effort you're doing that. Because that's why I said, okay, Issa is really making effort to bring people together. But bring people together is not something like I make a phone call, everyone just come and just run.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
You put a lot of effort on that.
I think was it you or I think it might be you talking about building your community. No, we listened to the podcast by Michelle Obama. Remember?
Oh yeah.
You actually sent me the link. Yeah. And then we listened to that, and I think we acknowledge it's really important. It takes a whole village to raise a kid, and also everybody. You need to have a community. So
I'm someone who really believes in the power of community.
Me too.
Apart from Michelle Obama's podcast, there's another one. It's a VP from the Netflix. He has a way to define the circle, what Issa said, and I actually do that exercise, and I review it all the time, which is what they call the board of director. What he believes is everyone, you need to have your board of director, which is the people you can pick up a phone call and asking for advice. So you probably have 7 seats on board of director. You can think about who are they for you. You might in your board of director you will have someone is like a business mentor. Maybe that person will have all the finance knowledge about something, some area you don't know, and you need to have someone maybe it's around legal, because that's also important. You never know when you're stuck into some sort of legal issue in your life. there's another people on board of
That's
director.
really helpful to
And
me,
you wanted to have someone really personal, like the friends you can bounce idea with, and someone really close. So and basically you have this department. You see that as a board of director. It's people just like running a company. You know, when you start, when you have issues, they will be the people to pull you out.
Because initially I thought of friendship as an all-rounder. You know, I thought this is the person that I could, you know, say something like deep and meaningful. She could also accompany me, I don't know, to food festivals, and we could have fun. And then you know, and they could also talk about, you know, about my business, and we could share ideas. I think I was expecting probably too much. That's why when I thought they were all rounders. That's why when sort of they failed me in certain like categories and or departments of my need, I was, you know, I felt, oh, okay, like,
Wasting my time.
Yeah, no, I was like,
You're
oh,
not capable.
They're on the interview.
yeah. It just felt like not shocking, but I was like, oh, how come like she couldn't do this? Like, you know, how come I can't talk about it with her? I think, so. Yeah, definitely
I struck
open
up
up.
exactly the same place with Sarah. Sarah, do you think it might be because we were educated in the way that you have a friend and friends gonna respond to like so many of your needs? You're gonna be partners in life. You're gonna be partners in business. all
that's
that.
what I thought.
I think that's
I
just
think
wrong idea we're putting to children. You need to have different friends for different stuff.
That's a way.
Yeah.
I think it's because when we're in the, I thought about this a lot. It's because people always ask me, Charlotte, who's your best friend? And I really struggle with the question since when I was young. Simply because when I was young, I don't even have friends. I said, who's your best friend? So this is an insult. But then I realized, but this is the concept we put people in. It's exactly like that. Once, if you are best friend, you're meant to be best friend forever, and then you have kids, you marry together, you have kids together. I feel this is the wrong thing. Now, for me, everyone is the same. Everyone is my best friend because I learn different things from different people. Instead of to rank your friends, it's all like.
I think it's also like depending on your own capability. For me, I feel like I'm able to be like an all-rounder to my friends, and that's what I offer to do, you know. I can help them with, I don't know, like cleaning if they need it. I can like cook food, and also we can go shopping, and we can talk about something that's really deep and meaningful, and we can explore ideas. So I think I was.
Advice. You gave me some really good skin advice.
I did, and
not
giving
really good.
advices, and you know, I love helping people in general. So that's how sort of I expect the same from my friends. And when that requirement is not met, I start to, you know, think about this friendship. You know, should I be friends with him? Should I be friends with her?
Are they worthy of my friendship?
No, okay, not that bad. Okay, maybe secretly.
Secretly, yeah.
So are there tools that we can use to? How do you actually find friends and then like high quality kind of like people who really like you can? Like I don't want to fail too many times if that's not too much to ask.
No, I think you're setting the expectation too high.
Really?
I mean, no, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. Probably you should cut this off. 4 of us in this room, I think we are very smart and we're wonderful people.
Don't cut this out.
It's the last. No, it's the next sentence I'm gonna say. Not everyone can match our standard. Like Sarah, she feels like she's all around. She's an all-rounder. Yeah. And I can feel that when I talk to you, you are unbelievably intelligent. Yeah. No. Wait a sec. Like you can't expect people to can match up to your standard because you are just so good. Not everyone can be that good. So. Okay, let's cut this
Nobody
one
can
out.
say no to this. I don't want to say no.
So you can't just say like, oh, they're not as good enough. They're not good enough. And when you think about it like that, it's very difficult to find friends. So you need to let your friends be wrong and stupid.
But I don't enjoy time with them. Like I don't enjoy time with
But
them.
hey,
so
if
why
you don't
should I
enjoy time with them, get new friends.
Oh, then they're not your friends.
Get
they're
new
not your
friends. Seriously.
Let me draw you out a little bit about this because this is actually quite hard because we're talking about community, yeah, and the friendship and community. I feel like they're related, but not necessarily because sometimes I feel like the sense of community is you find someone with similar minded or somewhere you feel you're related. Not necessarily everyone in the community are your friend. At least that's how I feel because I'm part of this agile community. I feel like every single time when I go in there, I feel like I'm going home because everyone just like the way how they speak, the way how they think. I just feel like I'm going home, but I'm not friends with all of them. Yeah.
Agree.
So that's why I feel like these are two different concepts. But I guess if we wanted to thinking about how we, so that's why I feel like strategy to building a community and the strategy for building a friends is two different things. If I'm thinking about building a community, I feel like doing what you do, like starting some sort of book club, finding the common interest, what you're interested in, focusing on the things you want to get out of from that group, and associate it. For me, my advice is always try to find if there's this group existing community already exists. If yes, that's great. Link on the community. If not, starting one. And that's always how I approach it in the organization. Coming in, I said I'm passionate about book reading. Okay, if there's book club, if there's no book club, okay, let me starting one. And yeah, literally, because that's how me and Summer meet. Because in the last organization, I like reading, and Summer also like reading, and then we realized there's only two names in the whole library, and that's why I said, Summer, do you want to read together? So that's why it's always just two of us read together. And then, so I feel like that's why I feel like building community. The focus is around the interest, the thing you want to get out of it, what you feel most lonely about it, what are the things you want to do together. That's how I feel. And friends, I feel like that's something I feel like as the human being, do you have anything in that person you feel like you can learn from? And do you want to hang out with that person in a long time? So if you see that as the other person, as a human, you just see two humans, can that be synced together? It's almost like dating. It does come in time. You can't force to it. It's you met a person, you like the person, you decide to build a relationship with. It's not something it can be immediately to say, I know this person, we have everything checkbox met. You are smart, yeah, everything. Okay, my friends, best friend. Tomorrow we are going to do everything together. I don't see that way.
I do. Yeah. I mean, I do understand that the way I describe my friend circle, it sounds a little bit focused on the functionality. That friends satisfying different needs, right? Yeah. But I do realize that. I mean, if you ask me, closely examine, be judgmental and closely examine my friends. I can pick out a few things wrong with every one of them.
Yeah.
But that doesn't stop me from being appreciative to them. So and that's the emotional needs underneath that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that does make sense.
I'm sort of starting to think of after what you guys said, I'm starting to think of friendship in terms of like the pyramid, you know, with the basics down the bottom, like you know, can they go out and have food with me? Do they appreciate food? And we can we can go up to the pyramid, and on top of it, I think that's what Issa was trying to say in the beginning, is that you know, by saying, you know, whether smart or not smart, I think that part is the self-actualization. You know, are they as awake as you? Maybe if they are, that's somebody who you can DM with. You know, you can say something that's like really deep and meaningful, and they'll probably get you because they, you know, in the same state with you, and they know what exactly you're trying to say. So basically, initially, I was expecting my friend to be this entire pyramid, and now I'm thinking, look, I don't probably have to cut any connections out. There's certain need for certain friends that fit into this category.
So I'm actually thinking about will we feel comfortable to starting to do the peer mentorship part. So for the peer mentorship, what we do is everyone will bring one question to this group, and we'll have a little bit discussion. Hopefully can solve it together.
Oh, I thought mine was done already.
Yeah, mine was done.
You're all done.
Yeah, what was yours?
Mine one was the
social
loneliness
thing.
and social thing.
Yeah.
And that was done already. It's sorted.
Yeah.
What is yours?
Same, loneliness. We actually have
All right, I will ask mine then.
Okay,
I'll ask mine
here you
then.
go.
Oh my
Why
God.
aren't we going out like 3 times a week if we're all like lonely?
If you're both lonely.
There we go.
So the question I'm going to ask the group is this a good idea to turning hobby into a full-time job? Because I saw Tingting also write a blog around that. So I think that will be a great question for her to start answering.
So basically what I did is, in my career break, I turned what used to be my weekend activities, call it hobby or call it side hustle, into like a 24-hour activity in my life. The answer is only if you know clearly the difference between what's a hobby to you and what's a work for you. And for everyone, the definition is different. So for me, I love hiking. I can hike like 5 hours a day, and because that's my time to think.
Can you? I challenge you.
Let's go together. And okay, but then when I hike, I enjoy it. I can do it every day. but I don't have a urge. I don't have this thirst to do it. If it's a rainy day, I'm like, go Netflix and chill. Like, that's it. But then the reason I decided to turn, actually I didn't decide. The decision was made for me. That's how I feel. I don't think you decide. I think when the time has come, you just have to follow the path. Why are you laughing?
No, because the way you say it's like the waves of life washed me onto the shore, turning the hobby
It
into...
sounds like really spiritual.
Yeah, it's getting so
Like,
spiritual.
really very spiritual. And
The universe conspired to help you. Yeah.
That's how I feel.
okay, so basically, I'm gonna try to summarize Tingting's answer is that she take hobby and she thinks that it's something fun for her to do to relax her. So she will not turn it into work because work can be stressful.
Not really. No.
Or
Okay, so hobby is for temporary enjoyment. Work goes through ups and downs, but then overall it should be enjoyment.
so one question for you is, for example, you love dancing and singing. Why would you not take that as your work? If you could dance for this company and join this, I don't know.
Because I don't have the passion to look into the mirror and then really drill into the thing. I just enjoy it. Even if I dance badly, I'm like, good enough. I don't have the drive to actually, like, I don't have the commitment to it.
You don't have the commitment to perfect it.
Yeah.
And you think work should be perfected.
Work is something you will like. You just be like,
You want to be better at it.
I find it interesting. This is actually related to a concept I recently. It's about happiness and joy. Because I think we described it, it's a little bit related to that. Happiness is something that you feel the moment when you feel truly happy. You somehow your brain just go light up and just starting to have this urge of being happy. But joy is something a bit more long term. Is that what you mean?
yeah.
Actually, it makes
something
sense from
like
your
that.
angle.
Yeah.
I would say when you turn your hobby into a job, I think one of the most important change is from now on, your livelihood depends on it now. And that changes everything. Like, let's say if your hobby is dancing, right? You're not trying to make money out of it. That means that you have nothing to risk. You have nothing, you're not depending on it. You just do this for fun. And if it's going to cost you $100 or $1,000 to make you happy, you're going to go ahead because you're happy. You don't care about what's returned because the return is joy. Yeah, but when that's the only thing you do, you don't have a job now. Dancing is all you have. It's going to pay your bill. And then it feels completely different.
I think the key thing is, like, you can try. I think people who are thinking about it, they can definitely try it out and see if you will still feel fulfilled when it's so painful. I think
That goes on to the joy.
yeah. I think if you really love something, you do it. A lot of people get taken back when business people talk about, you're going to be responsible for more people. It's not always going to be happy, and you're going to be poor. You have to sacrifice your lifestyle, and people go back. But then what's hidden in the message is you still find fulfillment. This is actually the only way you could potentially be the happiest in your life, is by going through this. Yeah. Yeah. So if you're willing to suffer, or if you experiment and then you find yourself enjoying the suffering, hey, congratulations.
Yeah, I like the words of experiment. I like the words of
Makes
experiment.
that much makes much more sense now from Tingting.
So we can just cut out the first answer.
We can cut out the front part.
Just keep that 30 seconds attitude. Yeah.
I think I take the question really simple. Like, will you turn your hobby into work? I think if you have the opportunity, definitely turn your hobby into work, because that's something that you have a passion for. That's something that you enjoy. But what defines, hobby and work is work is meant to, you put in some effort to get some reward, right? You need that sort of stability. I put in this amount of effort, I need probably that amount of reward. Maybe in monetary terms, you get paid for going to work. So hobby would have to get you paid to turn that into work, because how is it work if you're not getting paid in it? You're gonna give up maybe your primary job and turning your hobby into work. You need to be able to sustain yourself. So for example, I enjoy, I don't know, I enjoy cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Okay, I may lose money, I may gain money. That's currently my hobby, right? So I enjoy analyzing it. I get this self-fulfillment. Not necessarily it has to earn me anything.
But then earn something. I'm pretty sure. It's pretty good.
But once once I say, okay, I'm gonna quit everything. I'm even gonna like stop making my tissues. I'm gonna go full time into this investment. I'm gonna be a day trader. Then, like Issa said, you have the expectation. It's gotta make me a certain amount of money every day to sustain myself. So sometimes
you like crypto at the moment, crypto and all the investment.
Yep.
Do you see that? Do you treat them as part of your work now, or do you see that as part of your hobby?
It's still my hobby. It's my hobby. Whether I earn money, whether I lose money, I'm fine with it. I can lose thousands a day, and I'm okay with it. I just enjoy it.
Even with all the effort you put
Even with all the effort,
you see that.
If a bad decision I made after all the analytical things, and after analyzing it, I own up to my mistakes. I'm happy about it. I'm okay with it.
You still had fun.
Yeah.
Going through the process.
So that's why it's my hobby. But imagine turning...
But even so, you also get financial return from it at the moment. You're still thinking it as a hobby.
Yes.
That's very interesting.
Yes, I'm still treating this as a hobby because I think the mindset is very different between hobby and work. If I turn it into work, then I'm going to put extra amount of research into it. I can't do it whenever I want to trade. I got to do it every day because it's your work, right? So that's how I think this question to me it's very simple. If your hobby can provide you with this sustainable living, can provide you with some funds to support yourself, why not? Why not do something that you want to do and make money out of it?
For me, I find it the most interesting, most valuable part from the conversation is actually about the mindset you mentioned around. It's because I know how you trade, and also with all the effort you put in the trading, a lot of people will actually classify that as a work.
As a day trader. A lot of my friends.
Yeah. Because you're actually really good with that and spending quite a lot of your time to do that. However, you still, even with that, you're still willing to see that as a hobby. And I feel like that's actually the mindset shift. Because some people will in a sense, they were changing their mindset to say, okay, that's actually become part of my job already because I do that every day, I put the effort, I get a return. Yep. But for you, because you get joy out of it, you believe, okay, the mindset is different. And then...
because to me, I think a career, and then I think this might be a little bit off topic, but career is very different to work, and work is different to hobby. I classify that as the stages. So yes, maybe one day I become a day trader and I see trading as my work, but can I make a career out of it? Can I develop it? Can I start up a company, a financial company, and start to invest funds for other people? Then I think I would delve more deeply into this. If I see a long-term like a long-term development for trading, I would probably consider it as work. If you know what I mean. So with Constantly right now, I'm packing, I'm sending, I'm doing all this, customer service if I have to. But I see something that's a brand that I can develop, that I see a future with, that I see myself, having company, having a couple of hundreds of people, having my own manufacturer. I can see a lot. I can feel like I will grow with it. But with trading, it's not just about I'm a day trader, I'm making money. Where do you see this go? So I don't consider that as my work.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
So even with that concept, and then I start to realize maybe in that case, TingTingandKaKa's and Minko in a lot of way, and also probably my compared to you very small investment in the part is all basically it's hobby, because for me the joy of it, and then also it's more important than the money out of it. All right, now it's Issa's time. What's your question you want to bring to the group and ask us?
I don't really have one. I mean, the only thing I've been thinking of is the instability of my work, but that's not really something of a big concern. Yeah, because when your job is not very stable. I mean, like when you're a freelancer, creator, or when you're in a service-based business like I do, sometimes there are factors you couldn't predict. So basically, to offset the instability, there are the two things you can do. One thing is do more marketing and make sure you have a broader clientele, and then that can offset some instability. And the other time, just do some mental adjustment. Don't get too anxious when it's unstable, because when you're looking at the overall thing, it's actually pretty good. So yeah, problem solved.
I have one question.
You solved your own problem.
You're welcome.
Since you're talking about instability, I'm going to ask you a very hard question. I was listening to another podcast. There was a question being asked to the people who are working freelancer to say, do you feel sense of security for what you do? They asked a freelancer that question. The freelancer said that his reply was really cool as well. His reply to say, I always want to challenging why people working in a big organization have this sense of security.
Exactly.
Where,
That's
where,
where I'm going. Yeah.
where does that come from?
That's a very good
also
point.
agree so much. Yeah.
So that's the reason why I'm always interested around like what gives us that this, like, I guess what makes us feel safe and what makes us feel unsecure. I just want to explore that a little bit with everyone. I just want to interested to know, like, what is it?
That's a good question. Yeah.
When we talk about stability and security, are we talking about financial security and stability?
For me, this is it's overall. This is actually the thing. It's over because security is also about.
It's like, do you get to keep your job?
Right.
Like, do you get to
Like
keep
your
the
mental.
profession you work?
This is emotional, but emotional that can be contributed by your financial. Depends on what's the factor contribute your sense of security.
Yeah.
I was actually recently thinking about it because obviously I have a choice. I'm in a very lucky position to choose to either I can work full-time, part-time, or no time. I don't know, just like fully on my creative stuff. And I immediately was hit with fear, like fear of instability.
Okay, let's explore that fear.
Exactly. And it's like, I was afraid, do I have to change my lifestyle? Okay, and then if I want to experiment this fully, then how long can I sustain myself? And what can I actually find a job if I don't want to go full in? And then what I realized is nobody knows shit in this world. Nobody is secure. There's risks everywhere. And I realized it doesn't matter what I do. Like if I go back to the corporate job, I'm nowhere safer or more secure. I'm merely just procrastinating my issue for later. Yeah, like that, and that's where I'm arriving at. And then the message like here is you just have to do what you can do best today. Yeah.
I think they're so-called secure in bigger organizations. I mean, exactly what you're talking about. You're not any safer when you're in a bigger organization, because that's why we have, let's say, professional development for almost every profession, especially in the bigger companies. But the only thing slightly better in bigger companies is you probably have more support. There are more people dedicated in supporting you to evolve along with your profession.
It's not necessary. I actually thinking. I feel like professional development. That's something I actually have an interesting opinion about. Yeah. I feel like we own our own professional development, because a lot of time in a big company, small company, that doesn't really matter. Because I remember in a big company.
Yeah, I know you own it, but in a big company they give you more support. Would you agree?
Depends on if you drive it, because that's something I realized. Because when I'm in a big company, I have people report to me, and I report to people, and we're always working on this professional development session. I have so many of these professional development conversations with people, and there's a lot of the graduate or people who are coming to a room and coming to me to say, kind of expect your manager as a manager to tell me how we can support you to become a better person. For me, I'm actually just waiting for you to tell me how I can want to help you. But there's some people like coming in, they will have a full preparation, like me. I think my manager literally probably feeling a little bit stressed. It's because this is what I want to achieve about my year, and this is what I think this is a training I want you to get, and I want to do that.
And this is supporting from you.
And the manager said, "Oh, we probably don't have budget." I said, "I already calculated for you 10% for this, and then if you want to do it for the senior, this for Melbourne." So we're always prepared for that, because this is what I expect everyone in the organization like to do that, but they don't. In a big organization, you'll be surprised if you don't push for that, even you are in big organization, you don't get any benefit from the professional support you have. You have this option, but again, you don't get that.
Yeah. So what's basically what you're meaning is like you need to own your own development, and you need to push for it. And when they don't provide support, you need to ask for the support and negotiate for it.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. What I'm talking about is bigger companies. They have more resources when you push for it. That's what I meant.
They can support you.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, right? I can see it.
She's a bit indifferent right now. She's
Yeah.
So the last question to every single guest here is, what is work to you?
Can you be more specific?
When you're thinking about work, if you say, what's your work? If people ask you in the barbecue party, like, what's your work?
I'll just say, look, I own a brand, Cottonly, and it's my work. I perform day-to-day tasks. I plan ahead for the company, and I run this. I run this business. That's how I would define work. It's both mentally and physical work that you put into, and hoping to make a career out of it. That's how I define work. I have to see an end result. Yeah, more
So
of a long
work
term.
is something to helping you to contribute to career.
Yes,
Career.
yes, to help me to develop.
Perfect. This is such a good explanation. Now you have a really good example.
No, if you ask me what work, I'll be like define work. With my lifestyle, the idea of work has been quite vague. Can you like seriously? Can you like try a different angle to ask me this question?
Sure. Like when people ask to say, do you want to have more work-life balance? And then when in that context, what do you think is work here for you?
Okay, if we're talking about the context of work-life balance, right?
Yeah.
I would say like work is like you put in time and effort and money, like you invest in something, right? And through hard work, like
You put money into your work, so until it gets some money out.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, when you own a small business, of course you put money in, right? Okay, so basically you invest your time and energy and other resources into something, and through hard work, you get something in return. So that would be my definition of work.
Perfect. This is a really good answer as well. Now it's the final questions of this episode. What is the message to younger self regarding to today's topic?
Right. If I can talk to myself 100 days ago, I would say, girl, it's not that easy.
Oh,
Okay.
I have the opposite. If I can talk to myself like probably 7 years ago, I'll tell myself like, hey, it's not that hard.
Our audience is going to be so convinced.
And people are like, unsubscribe.
I would tell the younger self, maybe like the 15-year-old me, you don't necessarily have to study commerce to be in business, because business is more of a mindset. So I would advise myself to do something where I can learn skills from. Skills is the most valuable thing. And then I think, doing any business will sort of, it will come naturally if you have the skills.
Yeah, I like that.
That's good advice.
How about you, Charlotte?
My message to my younger self is to say, probably it's to my 6 years old self to say, Charlotte, you don't have to change the world. You are changing the world already because everyone else is.
How does that work?
We disagree.
You still here? Alright, since you listened to this far, I will let you in on a little secret.
You can suggest us a topic or to be our future guest.
Oh my god, how do you do that?
You can get in touch with us at TingTingandKaKa's.com.